I'm at the local field again. Temperatures below zero, -2, -3. Sun hasn't risen yet. I did have some trouble on this field before, if you look back on my videos, where the lines caught around clods of earth. I'm hoping it's not too cold for that. Yeah, that's the wing laid out. Let's get clipped in. Nucleon XX and the Atom. Temperature -2.5. 60% humidity. Got hardly any wind. Atom has been richened quite a lot. It's been richened by 7 minutes. It was running way too lean. Mike Chilvers at Wingland Airfield checked it over and said it was running almost ridiculously lean. I think my problem is I'm so used to flying the Monster for all these years, and even though I've done 200 hours on the Atom now, I just haven't been able to get the mixture right. The minimum from factory setting is 22 minutes, and I was running it at 15 minutes. I love nil wind, but nil wind on a large grassy field. I made a video a while ago called Decisions Matter. It's these small decisions really do make a difference. First ball. I'm feeling a little bit nervous because I haven't given myself enough runway. The wind has changed since I've got here. I've only been here 20 minutes. You see the smokestacks behind me? They were blowing in one direction. They've just gone vertical now. So the wind has dropped off to nothing. We look at the sock. The sock is not doing anything at all. The ribbon's not even moving. So I need to give myself more room really with a nil wind on the Atom. If I was on a Monster, I would send it straight away. And the Nucleon, it's a bit reluctant to come up a nil wind. You need to give it loads of commitment. You need to really coerce it up. Hadron just pops up. But the Nucleon XX, 450, somewhere between 450 and 500 hours it's done. To try and launch that in nil wind with the Atom, it's probably not a good idea. Decision time. Thinking about paramotoring is a lot of the setup is quite, takes quite a bit of effort. Especially when you've got an engine on your back, and in the winter when you've got all these clothes on, everything seems harder. So it's tempting to take shortcuts. So I'm already really hot now. The wind has just turned southeasterly. Great. Marvellous. Which is that way. I definitely have not got any room there. So I think what I'm going to do is move the wing into the middle of the field basically. I'm going to take the engine off. Just take my time. Spend the next 10 minutes getting it right. If I go in the middle of the field, if that sock changes, I can move. The other problem I have with this field, there's some hills behind me. They're quite small hills, but that's called the Green Sand Ridge. But those small hills can do just funny things with the air. They can make the wind just change a weird direction compared to what's forecasted and what's above, because the wind goes around and over and does rotor and all kinds of stuff. I'm going to reset up. So time now is 7:21. So between 7 and 8, it's saying wind direction should be 240 at the ground. 4 knots. So if you're new to paramotoring, you just stumbled across this video, welcome. My name is Mark. I have over 800 hours of flying experience over the last 5 years. These little decisions can make a big difference to your success or failure, or the pleasure of paramotoring. It can be quite frustrating if you even take the weather out of the question. That's probably the most frustrating thing for paramotor pilots is the weather. But once you've got good weather like today, this is absolutely perfection. You need to set yourself up for success. Wing layout number 2. Right, I'm just having doubts whether this is going to work. Okay, reset up. Don't try this at home, kids. This is not how you should do it. Field is unsuitable. Grass fields in this part of the country are impossible to find. Unless it's a sports club, and they won't let you fly from there. Most fields this part of the country is crop, so wheat, mainly wheat, grasses, barley, peas, beans, that kind of stuff. This is what I've got to work with. Agricultural fields, not livestock fields. Livestock fields are much better, even though they can be covered in cow pats. See if I can actually get airborne. I won't be surprised if it doesn't happen. I'm going to have a good old go. Okay, here we go. It's not getting any lift. Came back right above my head. Why didn't that go? It's almost like the atom wasn't powerful enough to lift the Nucleon. Well, that's never happened before. On full power, and decided to abort. If I was on the Hadron, that would have gone. Looks like the atom was underpowered. Not enough airspeed to get airborne. Make these videos for you guys. You can learn from my mistakes. So you know when you run forward, excuse my breath, you can usually feel the wing lifting you up. I didn't feel much of that. The wing was not holding back at all. It was staying directly above me, because it stayed on the A's until about 80 degrees, which you do need on the Nuke XX. But no lift. No lift. And this cold, dense air as well. Very odd. I don't have the Hadron with me. The only day I didn't bring it. Right, so I'm going to go home, get the Hadron, drive to Little Gransden. So made it to Little Gransden airfield. Frost is melting now, so I'm going to have a wet wing now. Went home, got the Hadron. So I'm going to lay the wing out on the frost. Might be able to get away with a dry wing. So is the atom underpowered, or is the Nucleon losing its lift? I had a look through my database for Nuke XX and Atom combination with nil wind and found this flight. And I seemed to get up just fine within 11 seconds, 10 seconds. Oh, it's so much easier on grass. So set up in the shadow because the sun is defrosting the frost. Let's see if we can get in the air. I've got E5 fuel now. Little Gransden, the wind has picked up a bit, which is... it's not going to make my test very valid. I was hoping for nil wind, so I could see if the atom can get me off the ground with the Hadron, whether the problem is the wing or the motor. So I think I'll be able to get off easy. There's a balloon. It's absolutely perfect conditions. There's the sock. So probably 4 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour. Get the gloves on. I'm really starting to go off the atom, to be honest. The negatives are starting to present themselves. Carb icing, lack of power, longer takeoffs, can't climb very well. Surprised. Easy takeoff on the Hadron and the atom. And what I should do is try and take off again with the nuke now, but I don't want to. We're flying! Finally! We finally did it. I must really love this sport to go through all that effort. Here we are on a Monday morning flying. Beautiful conditions. Stunning. Temperature 5 degrees C, 70% humidity. That section there where the orange crane is, that was all water, that was a lake. We just filled it in with gravel. It's 10 minutes to 10 in the morning. In the summertime it'd be proper rough now, but early spring thought it'd be okay, but it's actually starting to feel a bit turbulent. Look at the sky! Clear blue skies. Absolutely lovely. Cheers everyone! This is Twinwoods Arena. Hello? This used to be an airfield years ago. This is where Glenn Miller departed from and was never seen again, and was an important base for fighter aircraft defending Britain during the war. this is really going to be a test flight. I want to know what my fuel burn is on the Atom. After I've richened it up with the Hadron, I trimmed out all the way out. I've pulled the trims all the way in now, so the flight will be half trimmed out and half trimmed in. I'm guessing my fuel burn will be, this is my estimate, 3.8 litres per hour. I'll put the numbers up. I'm also thinking of getting some weighing scales, so maybe I'll get those on the way home so I can get accurate fuel calculations. I think it's good to always know your fuel burn accurately when you're planning cross-country flights. Come to idle again. We're at idle and the engine hasn't died. If it dies now, it's totally fine. I can land on the runway. Went a bit longer than I wanted to. Oh, a bit of a swirly wind there. What happened there? Well, that was a lovely morning flight, Monday morning. Landing was a bit strange. The wind just gusted and flipped my wing over. Atom held up nice. Thanks Chili for helping me out with that. Chili tuned it for me at Wingland. Now I've just got to sort out the Moster.